Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about change. A lot of people fear change because quite simply we get into our comfort spot, we get into a rut, we get a fear of things going wrong, we get people telling us, to not do stuff because it's also convenient for them. Because if you started doing stuff, they may have to look at themselves and their own activities. But the other thing about change is it's up to you. So although I encourage change because I do find it can offer a lot more choice, opportunities, and seeing new things or doing new things, reality is it's up to you. But one of the things that does irritate me is when I get people reply to me going, it's easy for you. Now I've got exactly the same opportunities and choices you have. The thing is, that is a deflection from your own responsibilities. Because the key to it is being responsible. You're trusted by default with your own life and your own decisions. You will get other people interfere. You will get other people tell you what you should be doing. Doesn't mean you have to listen to them. One of the things I learned a long time ago is to listen to many and then filter. Also collaborate, mix things together, see different perspectives, and then you find the truth. I'm not going to get into politics for more than a couple of seconds. But if you look at the way the media operates, it's becoming more and more biased and aggressive with it. So anyway, like I said, moving on. So for me, I do recommend changes because for me, living out in the Philippines, loved it. Loved everything about it. Even the bad things were sort of development. Earthquakes, ferry disasters, typhoons, lots of bad stuff. But it also creates perspective that your problems in the West ain't that bad when you see what happens when things are really bad. So there's always a reflection on what you've done, what you've achieved, what you've seen, what you've explored. And it's a bit like with the UK. People keep whinging about the immigration stuff, and I fully get it because it's not immigration we've got, it's dismantling of what was originally here. If they carry on the way they are, they're devaluing every penny of anybody that works for a living. But anyway, we could focus on the negative, or we could focus on, okay, what's my next chapter? Got my house in Spain. I think the next one is the farm in Spain. And even now I'm sitting there thinking, well, do I really need a farm? Do I want a farm? Do I want to develop this village idea? Reality is, I do. Because I look at I look at a lot of the kids and that with like autism or other things that are impacting their lives. And like any kid, they want to be part of something. The big thing is, you don't want to be stuck in care. You don't want to be stuck around people that are doing it as a job. You want to be around people that actually want to be around you. So if I can develop the idea, I'm just thinking if you have 40 people with various things, and then around them you've got a lot of general community like the existing farmers, and you've got a lot of retirement community where lots of people want people to talk to and spend time with. Everybody's just part of the same community. And I'm not sure how it works in Spain in that community sense, because I'm not Spanish, from a Spanish perspective. I'm not sure how that orientates. Oh, they've got the speeding ban over there. you know, for the cars. But I look at it from this perspective. When I look at the UK, and I even remember one of my aunts a long time ago, where they live in like a community block, and it's in a square, and in the middle there is a piece of grass, and the grass must have been at least 6 foot high. And what's their response to it? But your council ain't cut the grass again. My response to it, why don't we just cut it? I'm not being funny. A lot of tenants are living on subsidised rent, cheaper cost of living than me, and then I've got the audacity to whinge that they don't get a gold service from the local authority at the taxpayer's expense. Yeah, I get it, you pay your rent, but a lot of private owners would quite happily have the same service free of charge, which often don't, and paying a lot more for it. My point being is, life's what you make it. So like there, looking out the window with 7 foot high grass and whinging about the council not cutting the grass, my viewpoint is, cut it and let's enjoy the grass. And you normally find if you're doing your bit, other people normally get involved, because you're setting the standards, you're setting we want a better community, we want it to look nicer, we want to do something about it. But the point I was getting at is a lot of this with a lot of people in the UK, like elder care, which seems an Americanism, it seems to be we just outsource it. We don't keep people within the family. I mean, where I live in Spain, average age is 68. A lot of active old people. I've got to admit they're a lot fitter than a lot of the younger people here in the UK. But A, they're active, B, there's a big community of them. And a lot of it is the Spanish having houses on the coast. A lot of it is the fact that the community is orientated around family orientation. But this is where it's slightly different. We were talking about developing the community, because I've got to create work for people, and I think farming may be able to offer some new opportunities for young adults with learning difficulties, etc., to give people self-worth, because that's all most people want, a bit of self-worth. This is why you see a lot of people just always whinging about what's wrong with their lives. Guys, get some self-worth in your life. Get something that makes you happy. Get something that you like. Get something you enjoy. You know, you've got to make something of your life, because it's no one else's job. Which gets back to changing stuff. Like today, it's my lunch break. My first 15 minutes gone. So I'm out walking. I'm walking every day. Today, I'm talking to you guys while I'm walking. Other days, I'm on the phone while I'm walking. But ultimately, the boring routine of exercise, of walking, I fill it with something I like doing, like talking to you guys or doing my daily telephone calls to people. It's all about what you want to achieve. So let me spin you around a bit. Wildlife over here. Got some little ducklings there. It's just about the right size for a chicken sandwich. But the reality is, most of us will go through life doing the same thing day in, day out, trying to keep everybody happy, trying to just pay the bills, and not actually creating a space to evolve into something better. And if you're happy with that, that's fine, because like I said, it's completely up to you. For me, I like doing stuff. I like creating things. I like getting involved with things. This is why a lot of the stuff I do around buildings and things is actually trying to make them better. It's not the easiest task and often can be quite stressful for a lot of people, but at the same time I just crack on with it. But what I focus on is what it gives me as the output. The output is good sustainable family life, the ability to watch my kids grow as they get older. House is nearly paid off in Spain, and once that's paid off, the farm's next on the shopping list. And like a lot of Spanish, we'll have the farmhouse inland and the holiday home on the beachfront. We're proper Spanish. But it's also interesting when you see house prices, you know, because people say, oh, they bought that house for 60,000 X years ago. And you go, yeah, you do realise what 60,000 was worth back then, though. You know, it's not 60,000 in today's money. It's 60,000 in old money. So even when you think you're paying too much for a house, just recognise what the wages were in those times. Because you're probably not that bad off on a lot of the properties. And if you go inland, I'll tell you what, there is some absolute bargains. And I'm not going to go on a sales pitch because I could hear my sales voice coming out there just as I said it. So what changes do I recommend for people? Me, I think it's all about small changes initially. See, I'm still struggling with keeping the weight off my stomach. It just loves going there. But I walk every day. I'll be going to the gym. I've upgraded my gym membership as well. So as soon as 5 o'clock hits, I can go straight there, because I was going in at 8:30, and then I'm realising I start to feel tired every day. No shocker, we're walking in the park a couple of times and then going to the gym running for an hour. But it does take its toll out after a while. But you don't have to start there. I mean, how I start, I mean, this is how I'd recommend if you're fat or slow or whatever, is just get the gym membership and then just start with going on the treadmill. Initially doing like 30 minutes. See how you're getting on. Keep for the 30 minutes for your like first week. Slightly take it up to 2.5, 3 on the incline, because that'll, I believe, burn about an extra 30%. And just get your headphones on, listen to a bit of music. It was funny, this morning I was listening to The Prodigy, and I'm just thinking, why haven't I put The Prodigy and the Chemical Brothers on my playlist? Because that gets me going. So that's something I've got to do this weekend. But the point is, you just go in for 30 minutes, get it going, see how you're getting on. And once you start, what I find is once you get to a certain point, you start getting these little bursts. So for example, although I spent a bit of time in Spain recently, got fattened up by my wife, my weight's coming down quite quickly again. But at the same time, I'm actually running a lot more than I was before. So my stamina and fitness levels are actually increasing, even with the weight going up and down like a yo-yo still. What, I'm not super fit? No, never said I was. Don't do exercise for the fun of it. I do it because I need to do it. I don't even eat that much. That's what makes it worse. But yeah, just get into the little routines, little changes. If you feel like you don't like getting up at 6 in the morning, go to the gym. Do it in the afternoon, do it in the evening. Get something that you can stick to. And then we start blending it with a mix of weights and a mix of running, or you hate running, hate walking. Do some Pilates or something. It's not my cup of tea, but the point being is, don't make an excuse for not doing it. Find something that works for you. And like I said, it's all the micro changes. It's all these little changes that add up over time. Like now, standing walking in the woodland at my lunch break. So I would say quiet, but I can hear a plane over the top. Tranquil environment. Try not to get a little mozzie or what do they call them? Gnat fly up my nose or something by accidentally breathing it in. But enjoying the good weather while we've got it. And it doesn't matter where you work. Always try and get out of the office. Don't sit there with your lunchbox. Go and do something. Even if it's just a walk around the block. Just out of the office, away from the nonsense, and just doing stuff that's just you. Just about you, stuff you're doing. Catch up with a girlfriend, or even the wife. Yeah, you know, just have a phone call, have something that's not work related. A lot of people just look for their holidays a year, and that's all they've got going for them. I can't do that. So you know I love music anyway, so I've got the Hives new album coming this month. I think it's on the 18th actually. Oh, there's a rat, look. Did you see him? The big one. The weird thing about the rats here, as I normally find that they'll actually look at you, they're not really bothered by you. I look like quite a fat little rat. Now, should I go over the top? Got my hiking boots on. So what was I saying? Yeah, it's just doing stuff that is for you. Because most of the stuff around us is all about other people. The news is about telling us a narrative. Paying the bills is to keep other people in our back pocket, living off our backs. This is why years ago I recognised if I only worked part-time in a year, reality was I could cut my tax off and I wasn't any financially worse off. It sounds weird, but the reality is everyone's in our bloody pocket all the time. This is why this immigration change in the UK. If more people started just doing part-time and cutting stuff off, we'd have a massive impact, because the country is short of people with the skills in the first place for many things. But I don't go on there. Doing stuff for others is an important bit. This is why I phone and bug people about college courses and seeing how they are and recommendations. Like once the farm's up and running, I'll be inviting a few people over. You know, you can come when I'm there, or go when they're on their own. Not particularly bothered, because I'm not there all the time, and if it becomes more of a mixed retreat, I'm all right for that. It's just the way I am, bizarrely. But also, I like seeing people doing well. So change is good. As you probably see, a lot of my stuff's actually not even just about me, it's about helping others. Because there's enough where people talk about themselves, there's enough of the world that's orientated around getting you to spend your money on hair product, going to bloody Turkey, get your teeth done, get your hair done and whatever. Not really enough about just being happy with who you are. Even, when people are fat, I have no issue with it. If people are happy being fat, it's fine. Who am I to judge? Who cares? If you want to change your diet, you can change your diet. But it's not for me to change it for you. And on top of this, you can find it changing your perspective, changing the way you do things, changing how you want to live can have a lot more benefits than you initially see. And it's weird, you've got to look back as well, because you may not realise how far you've moved forward by making little changes. So I did one years ago, because I used to do a lot of gaming. Then I stopped gaming completely and focused on my career. And then suddenly I moved out of being like an engineer to more management, invested in my training, invested in my development, and worked my way up the business ladder. Didn't sell my soul to the corporate world though. I mean, I still work with companies, but I'm still based, always will be. You've got to have your own moral and ethical compass. But what it does allow though is travel. It does allow getting involved in interesting projects. It does allow allowing you to look at things from different perspectives. You know, when you look at how people keep talking about they're helping others and whatever, it's often from a Western mindset. Very rarely do they engage with the people they're allegedly trying to help, because most people already know what they need for their communities or whatever. Just ask. They're probably more inclined to get benefit from you giving them a business case on something they want or need than you telling them what their community needs. That's just reality. But the other side of this being though, is you can become much happier in yourself, more independent, less reliant on others, but also less manipulated by other people's opinions and controls. Because as you become more free and more independent, you start to see through things a lot easier, and you start to question things a lot more, and not living in that fear factor which a lot of people are caught up in. And before that person says it's easy for you, what do you think I moved away from originally? The bills, being locked into paying bills non-stop, having very little for myself, just going to work, just doing the grind as everybody else. Once you start moving away from it, you start to see A, you can still survive, but B, you may actually find something else that's actually more beneficial. You may find new opportunities that generate more revenue. You may find opportunities you actually enjoy doing instead of having to do. But it all comes about with change. It really is that simple. Without the change, nothing changes. What's that pigeon doing? It's a fat pigeon, that one. Yeah, so I do find you've got to create your own space, your own individualism. And one thing I'll say about individualism is don't assume you're an individual. You choose to do things the way you want to do it, but in reality, the big reality is everything has patterns. So if you look at the men's barber shops where people have the long beards and the curly moustaches and a man bun, that probably started with a couple of people's ideas, and then they're everywhere. And I'm sure many of those people will claim to be individuals, unique, etc. But reality, unless you cured a disease or something, you're probably in a pattern of thousands, if not millions of others. And that's life. The uniqueness comes from not caring and just doing what you want to do. It's not about impressing anybody else. It's about doing stuff you want to be doing, achieving things you want to do. Just enjoying life. Yeah. So it's like happiness. You know, when people say, are they happy? Happiness is the pursuit. It's not an achievement. You could be happy in a moment, but it could change in an instant. Being content is probably one of the key ones. So when I go to Spain, this is why I put on weight, is I'm content with my wife, with my kids. For me, that's it. I'm just in that moment. Don't really want to do much. Just want to spend time with them. You know, because when I'm away from home, I'm away from home. Hence the farm. The good thing about farms, you can do family stuff. I'm sure my wife doesn't want to do the farmy type stuff, but she'll definitely do the plants. She'll love having a herb garden and growing malungi and other plants that struggle to grow on the coast. But ultimately, it's a family space. I mean, imagine a little bit of land like this, put a little fishing pond in there, some trees around it. It's the fun of giving my son access to a digger to dig it out initially. Then we're putting water irrigation in and learning about the water systems and deep wells and lots of different stuff. And that's why change is important. Because I could sit at home in Spain when I'm there, get fat on the sofa, but I know it's not good for me. It's great having the time with the family, but I need to do stuff more productive. So getting a farm, there's stuff we can do. There's always something. Maybe get a couple of dogs there as well. Grow some crops and stuff like old Jeremy Clarkson. Even if it's not a case of there's any money in it, it's just the doing aspect. And then you're part of another community, because obviously we've already got a community on the coast. And then we can develop this new one with a new project to be set up for retirement. Because you never retire with a farm. Well, I know this all sounds a bit far-fetched at the minute, but anybody who knows me long term knows I set these crazy things and then eventually I get there. I'll leave the fishing boat for now, because we can get a boat quite easily in La Mata. I just begrudge paying about 12 grand for a garage for it. Or I could pay marina fees, I suppose. Oh, we'll see. As you can hear, I already talk about things I'm changing and what I'm doing. That's the mindset of you just evolving. Looking at new college courses as well. Because I missed my MBA window because I'm still waiting for my certificate. So I started looking at other courses. Instead of going, oh, I'm not doing the MBA now because I've missed the window for September. And okay, I'll look at something else then. Don't cry about it. Do something about it. Left the old company, got a new company. All positive changes. And even if a change goes wrong, doesn't mean change is wrong. You tried. Most people don't. Most people just do the same stuff day in, day out. Wait for their Ryanair holiday or Jet2 or whatever it is. 2 weeks in Benidorm or driving down to Wales or Newquay or something like that. Now, like I said, I also don't knock it. It's just not me. Because if they're content, they got the good prize already. Because that's the whole point. It's getting to where you're happy, content. And as I say, happiness isn't a constant. Happiness is something you strive for. And then life keeps throwing the curveballs in to upset it. Anyway, I hope you're interested. Cool. Because I do think change is really important. I do think a lot of people don't do enough effort. I do think a lot of people are in this pity me viewpoint, or they feel helpless. You know, the cost of living, blah, blah, blah. Guys, there is always something. Always. If you're hand to mouth in the UK, you could probably find some way of making a living in Spain and buying a cheap house. So most people go to the coast, but there's plenty of villages that are declining. I was listening to a couple, well, there was actually a little group of people. They're down in Portugal, and they work with the farmers, so they do all the picking and stuff. So they become self-sustaining within their own community. Change. Probably got some people that are engineers, English teachers or whatever, and now working as farm workers, having a much better life than just the daily grind. And as I say, always make your own decisions, do your own research. I just want to give you the opportunity that there is more out there than the stuff we're spoon-fed. Because not everything's money, not everything's in the 2 square miles of your town, not everything is about the here and now. Sometimes you've got to make the changes that get you down the path for a long-term change. Sometimes you've got to take a direction that may be painful short-term, beneficial long-term. Reality is, though, it's the change. Not to be confused with female menopause, by the way. Alright guys, enjoy the day. Carpe diem.